Hello everyone, I'm happy to meet you again with this third video on GMFT. The subject of this video is today the planning feature, how to arrange your planning, your schedule, your timeline of your competition with GMFT. So before beginning with the planning itself, we will just hide some sheets we don't have to use. To do it, it's very simple. You just have to use this menu, Hide Sheets. And for the sheets of license, clubs, ranking, and so on, you can hide them with this menu, Database Sheets. And you can also hide the check-in sheets, which is in fact a registration sheet. So just click here and you can see that we have only planning and home. Home sheet can't be hidden. Of course, we can recall these sheets just with this menu. And for example, we can show again the check-in and hide it like this. Okay, to illustrate the manipulation of the planning feature, we will use a scenario with 32 players in open, 16 players in veteran, and 8 players in young event. So we will create now this free event. So we use, of course, the festive formula. Open 32, group of 4. We start at session 1 and we start. Be patient. Okay. This is good. Okay, we come back to home to generate the second event for veterans. Veteran, 16 players, group of 4, and we can imagine that veteran will begin on the session 2, for example. So we can put it on the session 2. Okay, good. And the last one for under 19, 15, and 12. We call it young. And we will use under 19 category. We can put, of course, under 15 and under 12 in this under 19 category in the check-in sheets. So we have 8 players, 2 group of 4, and we can maybe start in the session 1. So we validate. Good. So here you can see that we have the open, the veteran, and the young events which are created. So the subject now is to manipulate the planning to consider the capacity of the number of matches in the same session, depending, of course, of the number of tables available. So before manipulating planning, we suppose that we have only 14 tables, so we can have only 14 matches per session. So first of all, I need to show you the group of features we will use in this manipulation. So the first one is a set of menus for manipulating matches, individual match, but also team matches also. And you have also feature to manipulate session, the orange lines like this one, for example. And so the other set of feature will be presented in the next video. So to manipulate matches, you can of course move a match from for one line up or down. You can move a match to the previous session, to the next session, and to a session for with a number that you give to GMFT. You have the possibility to delete matches, but this is strongly recommended to use with careful, and it's reserved to expert players, in fact. Normally, you don't have to delete matches. So in this example, we will need to move, in fact, the young group in the session 2 and have only 14 matches for the open for the first session. So what we can do is to add a session here to facilitate the manipulation. So here I put the selection on any cell of the line of the session 2, and I ask to insert a session in the session management, to insert a session before the selected one. So you can see that we have the session 2 created. So I can select now one, but also many matches, like this, or like this, or like this, just selecting cells, in fact, group of cells, and I ask GMFT to move them in the next session. So normally the session 2. I click here, and you can see that the matches are moved here. So I can't use all tables, so only 14 tables. So I need to move also these 2 matches in the next session. But here I can use, of course, the next session feature. But I can use also the move down one line, because I have only one line between these lines and this one. So if I click here, I put the line on the session 2, of course. So for the session 2, I can complete now with the first round for the veteran. So I can select all the matches of the group veteran for the round 1, and I put them on the previous session, like this. Okay, so you can see that some cells are red because you have the same name, 1A, 1A, 1B, 1B. And so for the moment, it's not important. So I would like to have in this session always, for example, the open at the first, the veteran, and the young at last. So I can do like this. I select the 2 matches of the open, and I move them up one line, and you can see that the selection is always is good, is always on open matches, so I can continue to click here. But I have also another solution, which is to move to the session number. By default, you have the current session number, the session 2. You just have to click on OK, or just to type Enter, and the matches are moved at the top of the session. Each time you move matches in a new session, these matches are moved at the top of the session. So now we have the matches for the two first session, we can just complete with the table numbers. Okay, and we can do the same for the next round. So here we can use again, we can insert a session, we can move them next session, this one move here, and this one move on previous session. So, and this one here, enter. So you can see that it's very, very easy to manipulate the planning and to configure the next session, the full planning. Sorry. So next session, this one, next session. Okay, and this one I move to the next session and just one up, and it's good. So here I have many sessions that I don't use, so I can keep one for the lunch, for example, and delete the others. So I just click here to delete the session here. So you can see that the number is 8 and after the number is 11. So as I said before, you need to use to remind that you have to sometimes use the F9 key. So I click on F9 and you can see that the numbers are updated. For the last part of the planning, it seems to be okay. So I have show you the manipulation you need. One other thing is to don't forget to update the duration of each session. So you have some duration proposed. So this list of duration can be configured in the parameter sheets. So we will just have a small look at the parameter sheets to show how to manage this list. So to access to the parameter sheets, you have this feature. So you just click here, and here you have a lot of parameters for GMFT. I will make specific videos to explain all these parameters you can use. So here in this part, you have the list of the different breaks you can define. So between two groups, you can change it and, for example, say that only 40 minutes. And you can change and rename some other configuration as you want. Once you have done this, you can go back to the home sheet here, and you can see that the parameter is hidden automatically. This is normal. So we can go back to the planning, and we can now have the correct here 40 minutes, and this is one is correct. This one you can correct. Okay, good. This one we correct it. Okay, this one also. So here we can have 1 hour for lunch, for example, and the others are set to 1 hour for other phases in elimination phases. So you just have also to change the hours of the start of competition. So here you can see that it's not orange but white in a white cells. So you can change it. Others like this one has a formula, so don't touch them. Just only update this one, and you can say at the time you start your competition. Okay, and of course, you see that the update is not done, so F9 again, and you can see that the update is made, and you can determine the hours of the last match and the end of your competition. Now we have to complete the table numbers. So we go back to the session 2 to copy paste the table numbers, paste, 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 copy, paste here, and fill the empty cells. Again, okay, copy, paste, and copy, paste. That's it. So now your planning is okay. You can now continue to configure your competition with the draw, for example. But I will show you another thing is the manipulation of this planning with teams competition. Before to conclude, I would like to show you how to use the planning with teams events, team competitions, and doubles. It's the same. To simplify the video, I've suppressed the individual events created before, and so we can go to the home sheets to create, to ask GMFT the forms to create a team event. So my team event, category team, just a little focus on this category. You can use a team category to determine who is playing in the team event. So this is to simplify, to have the correct list of players to use to fulfill the team members for the registration, in fact. So you can use this in complement with other categories. We will have a focus on the check-in in the next video. So the number of teams are 8 for this example, 4 players in a group, and we validate. And of course, we wait some seconds as usual, and we are still patient. Okay, so as you can see, we have more columns, of course, for the team competition. You can have also the results between of the match between teams in here as a synthesis. And we have many lines because we can show, we can see the individual matches for each team match. So here we have this event created, and here we have again in the planning all the matches predetermined. So we have to arrange the planning. We suppose that we have only 8 tables, for example. So here I create a session. I move these matches in the next session. So as you can see, I selected the match of the teams, but here you can see that in fact for each match of the teams we have many lines. So I suggest to you to only use the manipulation of plannings with a condensed view like this one. By clicking on the 2 here, you can condense all the lines and see only the match of teams and not of individuals, but of teams. And here you can select match of teams and just manipulate it as individual match, in fact, here and here. And you quickly manipulate the planning and create a good planning easily. So here we have our matches. Of course, you can change here the duration because we have with a team event. So maybe it's 1 hour each time. Time for the draw, of course, and so on. So one last thing to show you is the number, the table. So you can put something like this to tell on which table are played the matches. Okay, don't use something like the 1-4 because you will have some automatic transformation in dates. So just put a number to number. It's a good way, in fact. So of course you can copy paste as I did for individuals. Here, here, here. And if you do it here, you can see that, oh, the second one is not copied, but in fact, yes, it's copied, but on the bad line, because as you can notice here, a match for the group phase has only 4 matches here. But in elimination phase, you have you may have a match, a line to specify the shutout result in case of equality. So here you must be careful to not copy paste like this, because if you have only 2 matches, it's not important. But if you are more than 2 matches, you will begin to replace this by the number of tables and so on. So be careful to copy paste one by one, or if you are in the phase of only elimination matches, you can of course copy paste, but you may copy paste in the group phases and in the other side in the elimination phases, but not between these two kind of phase. Okay, so now we can fulfill the number of tables and we are ready to play the competition. Thank you for your attention. Hope to see you in the next videos, and be careful and enjoy playing table football. Bye bye.